Next on Good Morning El Paso, historic flooding in America's heartland. More than a dozen people are dead, and the worst of it may still have yet to come. New details in the case of America's most wanted teenager. He's expected to be brought back to the U.S. after being caught in Mexico. And the teen shot by a police officer in Sunland Park is still in the hospital this morning, and we are getting new details about what led up to the shooting.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC7's Good Morning El Paso.
It's 6 o'clock on the dot, and we begin this hour with a look at traffic. The borderland is still dealing with the threat of some black ice on the road, so just be careful as you head out. Meanwhile, a very good morning, El Paso, Las Cruces, and Juarez. I'm Denise Olivas. Hillary Florid and Stephanie Valle have the day off. Good morning, everyone. Let's send things over to meteorologist Crystal Cly. She's back from vacation and also telling us that we could be seeing some more of that rain-snow mix. Good morning, Crystal.
Good morning. Yeah, you know what? I was just jealous that I missed all the snow while I was out of town. So we're going to do it again. We're going to put in a small chance of rain and snow as we move forward, although not looking quite as strong of a system. That will move through on into this weekend. Right now, we're at 29 this morning in El Paso. Our winds are light at 3 miles per hour. Overall, nice but chilly start to our morning. In Las Cruces, also at 29 with calm winds outside. Very pleasant start. This time of year, of course, we just have to deal with the cold. We can't really work around it. Do have to say that because we're below freezing yet again, that warning is out there for some patches of ice on roadways and also still some areas of snow that just aren't going to melt quite yet, as we saw so much this past weekend. We do see it's clear, though, out there, which later today will allow for a mostly sunny forecast. Today, no chance of that rain and snow mix, but we do have that chance, and it does happen right around your new year. So we'll talk more about your New Year's Eve celebrations coming up.
All right, thank you for that, Crystal. And from our round-the-clock news team, police are investigating a shooting in East El Paso. This happened around 9 last night. Police say a woman showed up to an emergency care clinic at Montwood and George Dieter with a gunshot wound. A police supervisor told ABC7 the shooting may have been accidental. The investigation led police to a home on the 1700 block of Judith Resnick. Emergency crews say that the woman's injuries do not appear to be life-threatening. And the massive weather system that brought ice, snow, and rain across much of the country is not over yet. This morning, more than 18 million Americans across central United States are dealing with historic flooding. ABC's Megan Hughes has the details.
Good morning. The Mississippi, Missouri, and Merrimack rivers are all at flood stage this morning. At least 13 states are being impacted by floods, and Missouri may be the hardest hit.
Along the rising rivers, an army of volunteers armed with sandbags are fighting a tough foe. Parts of the town of Kimmswick near St. Louis already flooded. In Union, Missouri, a McDonald's nearly submerged, a gas station underwater. Rising rivers causing this sewage treatment plant to exceed capacity. And many rivers haven't crested yet.
So we're dealing with an incredible amount of water coming at you here. You're talking about almost 10 more vertical feet of moving water.
Whiteout conditions from the northeast to the Midwest made travel nearly impossible by road or by air. 850 cots were set up at O'Hare Airport overnight. Thousands of passengers across the country are stranded.
Today could be the 4th straight day of misery for holiday travelers. Yesterday, more than 1,000 flights were canceled and more than 6,000 delayed. Megan Hughes, ABC News, Washington.
In Roswell, New Mexico, the winter storm turned deadly. Police say that a man was found buried in snow and was dead when rescue crews arrived yesterday afternoon. Another Roswell area man died on Sunday while shoveling snow. Neither man has been identified. A heavy storm left many stranded and forced Roswell city officials to shut down several city buildings. The state received more than a foot of snow in some areas. And coming up later this hour, we will hear how a couple near Clovis was nearly buried alive in the snowstorm and how they survived. And we are learning more into the shooting of the teenager by a Sunland Park police officer. It happened Sunday night on the 1800 block of Cedar Park Avenue. Sunland Park police were called to the home around 11:30 and found 18-year-old Rafael Cervantes holding a woman and child hostage inside a car in the home's driveway. Police say Cervantes failed to listen to officers and tried to flee in the car with the hostages. That's when New Mexico State Police say that a Sunland Park officer shot Cervantes while he was inside the car. Cervantes remains in critical condition at University Medical Center. The so-called affluenza teenager is set to return to the United States today. U.S. Marshals, with the help of Mexican police, found the teen and his mom in Puerto Vallarta. Apparently, his mom used a cell phone to order pizza, and that's how authorities found them. 18-year-old Ethan Couch killed 4 people while driving drunk at the age of 16. During the sentencing phase of his trial, a defense expert argued that Ethan's wealthy parents led him into a sense of irresponsibility, and he got probation. Then last month, this video here showing Ethan at a party where people were drinking, meaning that his probation could be revoked and he could face time in prison.
Does not affect the sentence in any way, because I know prosecutors at the time wanted at least 20 years in jail.
Yes.
So what happened over the last couple of days and the video with the beer pong doesn't affect the judge's decision?
Well, it doesn't affect it right now because we haven't been able to confirm that he is actually the teen in this video. But
Right.
once there's an investigation and it's completed and it's determined that he's drinking and he's violated his probation, he could face up to 10 years in jail.
Prosecutors in Tarrant County now plan to ask a judge to transfer his case to adult court. An arrest warrant was being issued for his mother, Tanya, who will be charged with hindering an apprehension. That is a third-degree felony that carries a sentence of 2 to 10 years in prison. The time now is 6:06, and here's a look at how your commute is shaping up this morning. Through our text.traffic cameras, we can see I-10 and Anthony still looking pretty quiet at this hour. You just want to watch out for some icy patches that you can see still throughout some of the highways. I-10 and Vinton, though, right now looking a little dark right now, but not too many cars on the highway. And still to come on Good Morning El Paso, an update on the fight against ISIS. The Iraqi military has recaptured a key strategic city. But what's next in the battle plan? Also, a scary moment for a couple in New Mexico caught during the weekend snowstorm, how they almost got buried alive and how they were saved. But first, Storm Track weather meteorologist Crystal Cly has your complete forecast, and she has a preview now.
And that forecast still including the possibility of rain and snow right on into your new year. We'll talk about it coming up.
It's now 6:07. This is ABC 7, where news comes first.